I feel like there are a lot of really challenging things that you have to do, and it's just a part of the standard of being a fighter. Martial arts as a whole, it sort of forces you to become your best person. And what it did for me was it forced me to stop doing the things that were negatively affecting my life. And naturally, it wasn't even through me wanting to do it, just naturally from me wanting to be the best martial artist I could be, slowly started to become a better person. You start to control your emotions better. You become a better brother. I got in a relationship, became a better boyfriend. And I think that even today, it's helped me become a better father every single day, because it's about me trying to be my best self. Balance is a very difficult thing to get right, and there's just all these things that they almost like contradict each other, and they're really hard to do one and not the other, and it's a very difficult thing to do perfectly. You just have to do it, and you got to deal with it. And I think that's what breaks a lot of people. I feel like there have been so many times where I've almost doubted my decision to start MMA, and usually it's not when things are going wrong, it's actually when things are going right. And I've got this thing in my head where it's like things are going right now, but at some point they're not gonna be. And it's just like a part of me that just doubts myself that I'm not good enough. When I first made my amateur debut, I was the first fight in the card. And by the time I'd finished my amateur fights, I was the main event of the card. And it was the same when I went pro. So when I went pro on Hex, I was the first fight of the night. And by the time I went to fight Joseph Luciano, I was the main event. So for me, it was almost like a pinch myself moment where like I did all the groundwork to get here. And here I am, main event, Festival Hall. I got to a point mentally where it was like, I was ready to die. I was so doubted. I was expected to get slaughtered by this guy. So I went in there thinking, I'm gonna die. He's gonna be way too good for me. It was pure euphoria, winning that belt, getting my hand raised, especially because I was doubted so much. So almost as if I had given into that, and I thought, damn, maybe I won't win this fight. But I was willing to do everything to make sure that I did. And it was super special. It made that so much more special. I think my confidence is through the roof, and maybe a little bit higher than how good I actually am. So I jump on social media and I call out Eldon Bates. And me knowing very well that Eldon's probably one of the toughest fights stylistically for me. But it was actually at the face-offs where Eldon had a really, really difficult weight cut. He was knocking on death's door. Something clicked in my mind, and I think it worked out to be a really bad thing for me, but I thought this is going to be an easy fight. Look how bad he looks now. But fight doesn't go my way. Feel like I should have deserved to go out on my shield, especially being a welterweight belt for the Australian title. One of the most prestigious MMA belts you can get, and I lost. Everything I've worked for up until this point goes out the window in my mind. It's just like I had the highs of highs. I won the belt. I beat the guy who I had no chance of beating. I'd beaten him, and now I've lost it. Like, it's one of those things that people say, but you have to really believe it. And it's just having the right people around you is the most important thing in this sport, Because regardless of wins and losses, when shit hits the fan and you lose everything, they show you that you still have so much to gain, They show you that there's still so much to fight for, to live for.
Yeah, it's alright, bro. Yeah, for sure, man. That's what it's all about. It's not just fucking a glorious, glamorous little fucking highlight reel. It's the life of a fighter, yeah. This is what I said I wanted to be, and it's as high as the highs are. Yeah, the lows will be just as low. I'll come back.
Breaking news coming out of Australia right now, Jonah McAuliffe slated to fight Matt the Viper Vale at Hex Fight Series 32, and I know a lot of people have their doubts right now about Jonah McAuliffe following his fight with Alden Bates, saying he's not ready for these tougher tests, but if there's anything we've learned about Jonah McAuliffe throughout his fighting career, it's that you can never count the captain out.
Fight Matt Vale, and I come out with a first round submission to a guy who's never been stopped. I think it just goes to show that in that loss there was so many valuable little gems that we worked on that paid off in the long run. 4 weeks after the Matt Vale fight, I'd planned to step away from MMA for a little bit and focus my mind on my wife, who's now 33 weeks pregnant, and she was ready to pop within 4 weeks. God has his way with things, and 4 days after the fight, my manager Justin gets a call. Two of the biggest things in my life are on the same week. We're offered a fight in Vegas the same week that my son's going to be born. Sam, my head coach, and Justin, my manager, sat down and we decided that the best route to go about this would probably be to induce our baby. That way I'm there for the birth of my child, which is probably the biggest thing that's ever happened in my life up until now. And it will also mean that I can go and do the biggest thing that's ever happened in my career, which is to fight in Vegas in front of Dana White. I'd just done the biggest thing I've ever done in my fighting career. Right in that moment, I knew I did it. So what a moment.